Hi and welcome back to my channel. I love cinema. It is one of my greatest passions. I love learning about it, I love watching films, and I love sharing what I like about films and what I don't like about films. And most of all, I like talking about films, as you probably can imagine. And this video will be devoted to films. I called it June in Films because I watched 18 films, 18 or 17 films in June, and I want to talk about them. I probably won't talk about all of them. Maybe in the future I will talk about every film that I watched in a given month, but today I will be talking about 10 of the films that I watched in June, and I hope you will enjoy my descriptions of them, my recommendations. By the way, I am not a film critic. I am not a person who does film reviews as a job. I just love talking about films, so treat this video as a recommendations video or maybe just me talking about films, because this is basically it. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the films that I watched in June. The first film that I watched in June is a Polish film from 1967 called Matthew's Days, and in Polish it's Żywot Mateusza. It's directed by Witold Leszczyński. The action takes place in the Mazurian Lake District in Poland, also in a very small village. Matthew, the protagonist, is considered a village idiot. People treat him nicely and lovingly, but they still consider him to be an idiot, so they just pity him. But you can also interpret him as a person who is very close to nature, very sensitive, very out of this world rather. This is not a spoiler. We learn from the very first scene that he is quite extraordinary and that he likes nature because there is a big bird flying over their cottage, and he is really deeply moved by this event.
Wielki ptak przeleciał nad naszym domem. Leci w tej chwili, teraz, kiedy ty leżysz w łóżku.
No to co?
Czy słyszałaś kiedy, żeby wielki ptak przelatywał komuś nad samą głową? Na pewno nie słyszałaś.
This film was quite slow-paced. I watched it when I was not feeling my best. Usually, on days like this, I want to watch films that reflect my state. The films that are quite, moody, reflective, slow-paced, and that film was precisely that. I resonated with it on a deep emotional level, and because of that, I don't think it's a film for everyone. Bear in mind, this is a film from 1967. It is a slow, black and white Polish film taking place in the village. Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. And if you want to watch Matthew's Days, it's available on YouTube. I will put the link in the description box. It's available with English subtitles. If you like slow-paced, poetic, slow-burning films like that, definitely watch Matthew's Days. Oh, and one more fun fact about Matthew's Days. It was actually the Polish entry for the 41st Academy Awards in the category of Best Foreign Film, but it wasn't accepted as a nominee. Bye. The second film that I want to talk about, and the film that I liked, was Everything for Sale, or Wszystko na sprzedaż, directed by Andrzej, Wajda. And this is a film that is an homage to Zbigniew Cebulski. The opening scene of the film takes place on a film set at a railway station, and we can see a director of the film trying to jump onto the moving train. And the reason why this is important, that the setting, is because this is a reference to the death of Zbigniew Cebulski. It's very hard to say that because this is not an easy topic. Zbigniew Cebulski, if you don't know, he was a very, very famous Polish actor, and he really liked playing very dangerous scenes himself. Specifically, he liked doing all of the stunts involving trains. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because this is exactly how he died. He tried to jump onto a moving train and he didn't make it. This is the opening scene of this film, so this is important to know, this actual historical context. This film is a rare instance in Polish cinema because this is a film that talks about making a film, but also this is a film that talks about real events that happened, and the characters in this film are played by actors who were true movie stars in Poland in the 60s. The characters share their names. So the viewer from the 60s, I'm guessing, was quite excited to see the real people who were playing themselves, and was excited to see the relationships between these actors and directors. They wanted to confirm some rumors that they read about in the magazines, so this film was something. It's probably a good time to tell you that for almost the entirety of my life I didn't like Polish cinema. And this film is one of the few instances in Polish cinema in which I can fall in love with it. It has this 60s vibe, and I have a very, very soft spot for films like The Graduate or In the Heat of the Night. And the film by Andrzej Wajda is a truly Western film, if you know what I mean. Like, it has all of these characteristics of a Western film from the late 60s. And this is partly the reason why I loved it so much, because I wasn't expecting to find such a masterpiece. And yeah, everything about it was just magnificent to me. So overall, I gave Everything for Sale a 9.5, and I highly, highly recommend it. Okay, this film is not something I enjoyed. Remember a second ago when I was talking about me not liking Polish films for my entire life? Well, this is the reason why. I watched this film and I hated it. I didn't like it, I didn't enjoy it, it bored me to death and it annoyed me. This film is called The Cruise, or in Polish, Rejs. It's directed by Marek Piwowski, and I hate it because of many things. But first, let me tell you what it is about in case you are not familiar with it. Rejs is considered a masterpiece by many and as the earliest cult film in Polish cinema. I will get to that in a minute. Shot in a quasi-documentary style with a cast featuring no more than 2 or 3 professional actors, the absurd plot parodies life in the People's Republic of Poland, reducing a weekend river cruise to a hilarious parody of the entire communist system. Well, in a nutshell, this film is considered a cult film among people who were either raised in homes where this film was considered a cult film, or by people who really resonate with the aesthetics of making a parody out of the communist system, or by people who lived in this system and they know it so well. And I am neither. I don't like films like that at all. It doesn't really matter that this is a Polish film. I don't like parodies, I don't like satires, I don't like comedies which are based on too much unnecessary dialogue. It just doesn't make me laugh. So watching a film showing all of these characteristics that I don't like and amplifying them for over an hour was so painful for me to watch. I can understand why people like it. It's just completely not my style. In terms of my rating, I was very generous. I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I understood the concept, I understood everything, I appreciated the production of this film, but I didn't like it. So it's a 5, it's a solid 5, it's like average. But if you still want to watch The Cruise and make up your own mind about it, it's available on YouTube with English subtitles, and then if you watch it, we can talk about it and you can share your opinion on this film, and that will be okay too. And now moving on to a film that I loved. It is a short documentary called The Night Train, 40 Years Later, or in Polish, Pociąg, 40 lat później. And this is a short documentary which talks about the making of the film The Night Train. So the film The Night Train is from 1960 something, probably 1960, I should look it up. Oh yeah, okay. So the film The Night Train is from 1959 and it's directed by Jerzy Kawalerowicz, and this short documentary is from 1998, so it's shot 40 years after the film had been done.
Pan się chyba omylił.
Ja? Mam wrażenie, że to pani się pomyliła.
I loved it because I loved The Night Train, and if you haven't watched The Night Train, then I highly recommend that you do. This short documentary is a beautiful complement to this film. So if you've watched The Night Train, then please watch The Night Train 40 years later. It's also available here on YouTube without English subtitles, unfortunately, but you can still watch it. And it tells everything about the production. You can hear from the actors, you can hear from the director and the cinematographer. I gave it a 10 out of 10, obviously. And still, if you haven't watched The Night Train, please do. I will talk about it one day. And one more thing, if you are a fan of a Polish rapper called Taco Hemingway, I suggest that you check out the link that I put in the description box. Please watch it because this little thing that I put in there is the essence of this film. So yeah, check it out. I'm so excited I can't speak about it anymore. So let's go to the next film. So far I've only been talking about Polish films. This is because I had to prepare for my exam in Polish cinema, but this one is a masterpiece. This is the debut film by Roman Polanski called Knife in the Water or Nóż w wodzie. It's the first feature-length film by Roman Polanski from 1962, and this film was recognized worldwide. It was the first film that actually was nominated for the best foreign film, but it didn't win, but it was the first nomination for a Polish film, so that was huge. And if you're looking for a film which would introduce you to the world of Polish cinema, I think Knife in the Water is a very safe bet. So the film tells a story about an adult couple who are going for a weekend away to a lake where they will be taking a cruise on their private yacht, and they pick up a hitchhiker. And this will lead to a series of tensions between the adult male, the protagonist, and the hitchhiker. And some of this tension will be released, some of it will not. And the film talks about these two men competing with each other.
Kaleczy pan pokład.
Ja to robię z czuciem.
Gdyby pan wpadł do wody, to by pan jednak popłynął.
Niech pan spróbuje.
Andrzej! Krokodyl bańki puszcza!
Ja żartowałem.
The film is just perfect. And the reason why I like this film so much is because it reminds me of the Hollywood style from the 60s and the 70s, but it also has this new wave aesthetics. It has this feeling of a new direction in cinema. I mean, this film captures the moment when Polish cinema was waking up after the post-war stagnation and the social realism period. It shows where Polish cinema can go, the potential of Polish cinema. So if you haven't watched Knife in the Water, then please give it a try because I think you will not be disappointed. So after my exam in Polish cinema, I watched a documentary. It is available on Netflix. It's from 2016 and it's directed by Matka, and the documentary is called Minimalism, a documentary about important things. And Matka is one of my favorite YouTubers. I will leave a link to his channel in the description box, so please check it out because his videos are full of inspiration. They are a visual delight. So the documentary is available on Netflix and I watched it for two reasons. The first one, that it is directed by Matt, and the second reason is that I am a minimalist. This documentary will get you started, will explain everything about minimalism as a philosophy, but if you know minimalism or if you are a minimalist, you will probably learn a lot too. The documentary follows Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus on their book tour. In the meantime, we can learn from experts on consumerism, capitalism, minimalism, neuroscience, and also we can hear from people who are minimalists themselves. But the number one reason why I loved this documentary so much is because of the visual side. It's just beautiful. The shots are clear, simple, minimalistic, but they also are very ambient, moody. They give you this vibe.
We spend so much time on the hunt, but nothing ever quite does it for us. And we get so wrapped up in the hunt that it kind of makes us miserable.
You watch a documentary in order to learn something, but if this information, if this knowledge is not presented to you in an attractive way, then you will not be likely to respond to this knowledge, to actively acquire this knowledge. If you watch it, at least you will take the pleasure of watching something that well made. So I recommend it to everyone who likes watching pretty things. Moody, I don't know if this is the right word for it. And one fun fact about this film is that for the whole film, for the duration of the film, I chose not to check my phone. I had my phone hidden away and I discovered that I have a problem because every now and again when someone on the screen was talking about something that I already knew, I was feeling bored because I already knew that thing. So I was reaching for my phone, which wasn't there, and I discovered, oh wow, this is like a muscle memory, like this is a tick. I cannot control it, this is just that happened. And I found that I have an addiction. I am an addict. But going back to minimalism, I gave this film a 9 out of 10 and I highly recommend it. After minimalism, I watched a film with the longest title ever, Guernsey, the Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. Oh my god, I did it. I saw this title on the FilmWeb's ranking of the best films of 2018. I hadn't heard of that before. And then the next day I went to Netflix and I saw that film being recommended to me. So by that twist of fate that we call personalized recommendations, I watched Guernsey, the Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. Ooh. The action is set in the 1940s in London. The action takes place not only in London but also on the island of Guernsey, which is a British island very close to the French shore.
Dear Miss Ashton, my name is Dorsey Adams.
I am part of a book club, the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society.
Ooh.
You did that beautifully. Right.
This film is a period melodrama and it has this fairy tale vibe to it. The mix of that was a bit too much for me. I mean, the film was okay, but you could figure out what was going to happen to the characters very early on, and I think this is not a good thing if you can predict the whole plot. In terms of the characters, they were flat a bit because there are so many characters. I mean, at least I didn't feel that they were deep enough for me to really relate to them or root for them or sympathize with them. We also have the main protagonist, but she is this character that is not driving the action. She is just there and she witnesses everything. I gave it, I think, a 7 out of 10, but now when I think about it, I should probably give it a 6 out of 10 tops. I still liked it, but it was like, okay. So yeah, that was about the longest title ever. Moving on. Next film that I watched is a film that I watched at the cinema, and it is Ma. It is a horror film directed by Tate Taylor from 2019. It is a story about a middle-aged woman who helps teenagers get drunk, and on top of that she lets them hang out in the basement of her house.
Excuse me, can you buy some booze for my friends and I?
Not interested.
Please?
Hell. Whoa, there's my girl. This never happened, okay?
I was tense the entire film, right until the end. I just couldn't figure out what Ma would do, like what was her agenda. But at the end, when the bad guy has the chance to reveal all their secrets and do all of the bad stuff to the main characters, that is when this film stopped being so interesting to me. All of these bad things were very predictable, and don't get me wrong, horrors are quite predictable. Everything was great, everything went great. It was so weird and strange and unpredictable, but the ending was so cliche. Overall, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because the tension was there. I felt really, really scared and anxious during this film, and Octavia Spencer was really, really scary. This is definitely something to watch, and please, if you watch it, tell me what you think of the ending. So yeah, 7 out of 10, and let's go to the next horror film that I watched in June. So this next horror film that I watched is The Nun from 2018. There is a convent in Romania. The action takes place in the 1950s. One of the nuns commits suicide. A priest and a different nun are sent over there to investigate. They get help from one of the villagers, and as you can imagine, bad things happen to them.
I had a series of visions when I was younger. And after each one ended, the same thought would be stuck in my head.
What did you see?
I saw a nun.
It had a lot of potential, but then when this big thing happened for the first time, I don't know, in the first half of the film or maybe the first 30 minutes, what happened in the first half of this film was so big and so bad, so evil, that everything that followed should have been badder, more evil, you know, more grandiose or something. It should have been, you know, huge, very scary. At least the characters should have been freaked out. They didn't do anything. I mean, this huge thing happens and they are just like, we don't talk about it, we go to the next thing. Everything that followed was laid out in front of me. Everything was explained before it happened. It was just very badly executed. It was not a very good horror film, if you haven't figured it out already from my description. Summing everything up, that gothic, supernatural, evil, religion-based horror film had a lot of potential, but it just didn't fulfill it. Probably The Nun is a good horror film for some. For me, it wasn't. I don't like horror films like that, so it was a 3 out of 10, unfortunately. And the last film that I watched in June was To the Bone. It is a drama from 2017 directed by Martin Noxon. So the film tells the story of a 20-year-old girl called Ellen. She's been fighting anorexia for years, and she is admitted to one of the best facilities for people dealing with eating disorders.
So welcome to our new house member, Ellen.
Hi.
Oh my God.
How do you do it? Eat, I mean.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really fucking hungry.
This film explores the topics of internet fame, intimacy issues, eating disorders, broken family relationships, and the methods of the doctor are said to be radical but effective. I think this film is very powerful, and it's also pleasurable to watch. Of course, it's a drama, it explores the person's struggles, but it does it in a very good way, and it doesn't make these characters seem doomed or disabled in any way. And I think on a very strange level, I related to the main character. We don't have anything in common, but I think this gives testament to how well this film is made, because it was supposed to make you feel something, and it made me feel something. The film is slow-paced, and there are some scenes which are supposed to give the story a more inspirational and lofty message, but I don't think they were necessary. But at the same time, they didn't make the film unrealistic, so that's a good thing. As for the rating, I gave it a 7 out of 10, and if you want to watch it, it is available on Netflix. That's it! These were all the films that I wanted to talk about in this video, but these are not all of the films that I watched in June. So if you want to see the complete list of the films that I watched in June, you can go over to my FilmWeb account, or you can check out the description box. There is the complete list as well, plus some additional resources that I talked about in this video. Please leave me a comment and tell me if you watched any of the films that I talked about, because I would be very interested in finding what you think about them. If you liked them, if you didn't like them, what you liked or you didn't like about them. If you are interested in watching me talking about films, but also about minimalism, veganism, authenticity, consider subscribing to this channel, because I will be posting videos once a week, and I will be talking about all of the things that I'm passionate about. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next time, bye!